students of class 10. Today we are continuing with the same topic, that is peasants and workers rebellion. And today we will be doing that peasant revolt during the civil disobedience movement. We have studied up to this that the peasant movement was not so well organized initially, but later on during anti-partition and during non-cooperation movement we have seen that it was not so well organized and it had not received much support from other sections of people. But we will see that after this non-cooperation movement, during civil disobedience and quit India movement, we will see that the peasant movement became more organized and more mass awakening and mobilization was to be seen in this kind of peasant revolt. Peasant movement during civil disobedience, it became more organized. The peasant movement during civil disobedience movement became more organized, that people understood if they want to fight against such a big power, they need to be well organized. That is, the different sections of people from different parts of India should be connected and their agenda should be clear while having a movement against the British government. Then we can see the condition of the farmers deterioration. The condition of the farmers deteriorated due to the Great Depression. As we all know, the Great Depression had a great economic stress not only in USA but in other parts of the world. So in this case, the peasants also were the sufferer of Great Depression and they had to sell off their agricultural products and crops in a very less price. Then we will see the leaders of this movement were Swami Swajananda, Jadunanda Sharma and Panchanan Sharma. We will see that in Punjab, Akali Dal, this is one of the most important party and peasant organization. The Riyasati Praja Mandal Party, the Krishak Praja Party and the Akali Praja Party, these are all important parties that was mainly formed by the peasants. We will see that in South, the Federation of Peasants and Agricultural Laborer was formed. This was another party which had its importance in South India. We will see that these all parties, the emergence of these all parties strengthened the peasant movement during the civil disobedience movement. And from this we can also understand the peasant movement received the support from the Congress leaders, and as well as the Congress leaders took the plea of peasants and incorporated them in their own Congress agenda of freeing India from the British power. They incorporated the peasant revolt with the civil disobedience movement to make this movement more powerful and strong. At the same time, the peasant movement also received an importance, as well as the Congress was also able to incorporate these sections of people who were up to then unaware of this nationalist movement. So this led to a mass awakening among the people of India. We now will understand what is Bokasto land. Bokasto land are land which are taken by the landlords from the farmers when they were unable to pay taxes. And this led the landlords to take away this land. And this land was called as Bokasto land. We will see that this land, taking away of land from the farmers, had led to a movement known as Bokasto movement, which was led out by the farmers. And the last thing that we will notice is that All India Congress Working Committee was formed. This was an important emergence which led the Congress to unite and incorporate the peasant and working class movement into their Congress agenda. They realized that if we need to make the national movement as a great national movement which will be more organized, which will have a mass movement, then we have to incorporate different sections of people and see their grievances so that they will all stand with the Congress against their fight against the British government. We have already studied about the Congress Socialist Party. Today we will study about its objectives also. The Congress Socialist Party, we all know that it was formed by Jayaprakash Narayan and Acharya Dev. This objective was to establish, to have a socialist government. The foremost objective of Congress Socialist Party was to have a socialist government where the people will have all equal power and advantages. To abolish Zamindari system. It wanted to negate the remove Zamindari system where all the people will be free from the torture of Zamindari system and the peasants would be free to have their own land at their own cost. To excuse the debts of peasants, as the peasants due to famine, droughts were unable to pay the debts that they had taken from the zamindars or money lenders, this has led to the peasants to committing suicide and many kind of tortures inflicted on them by the zamindars. So in this time, this was requested to excuse the debts of peasants, to make agrarian wages for the peasants, as they were all agrarian workers, the peasants or the farmers. So the Congress Socialist Party wanted that the farmers should also get a monthly agrarian wages. To adopt nationalization scheme in industries. If all industries became nationalized, then all the people will invest in the government and the government will help the industries to flourish, and that would be indigenous industries made by the Indian people. To mix communist ideals with Indian National Congress. The Congress Socialist Party realized that this both the workers, peasant union and the Congress should have a common point of view so that the nationalist movement would be more powerful and strengthened in their outlook. And the last thing that was important was National Trade Union Federation. A trade union for workers to be formed so that they can also have a platform to show their grievances against the government repressive policies. This was Congress Socialist Party and its objectives. Now we will see peasant movement during Quit India. This was civil disobedience. Now we will see peasant movement during Quit India. As we have noticed earlier in the civil disobedience movement, a lot of people participated and different sections of people also joined in this movement. In Quit India movement, we will see that there was mobilization of mass movement. More people joined in this movement, and in this movement, different sections, different communities of people also joined. Farmers of UP, Bihar and Bengal especially were the most important peasant or the farmers who joined in this movement. Especially Medipur and Birbhum led to the mass awakening. These two places, mainly Medipur, we will study in the next video clip what was importance of Medipur and Bengal and other states also. These two places or districts in Bengal has seen that this peasant revolt was no longer a secluded revolt. It led to the mass awakening and a mass movement. We will see that Riang rebellion of Tripura by Ratan Mani, who was the leader of this Riang rebellion, which took the form of people's war against the government. This was a peasant rebellion which was no longer a peasant rebellion but took a form of people's war against the government. So this shows that how the peasant rebellion was not secluded from the national movement, it became a part of the national movement, and how it was a more organized and a powerful movement. With this video clip, your PDF will be attached. Thank you.